Welcome, 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 everyone. Well, Annette, at least your video camera is working today.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And your sound, too. I'm so excited. I met Annette on LinkedIn because of stories and because of our friend Lance. But she's got 20 years of graphic design and creative agency experience. I think, though, the most coolest thing about her is she started this company called Easel, and it's, it helps little teams, big teams, individual enterprise-sized companies create amazing graphics. I think that is awesome. But above and beyond that, I've already heard from a bunch of people like Kim Garst and Lance, and I think Sue, who work with you in your company. Your customer service is like absolutely amazing and unexpected. But I think it's because you've got this amazing boutique software that's actually super powerful, but you can actually be hands-on and be on a live like mine. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Viveka. It's so great to be here.
I'm so excited. So tell me, I said a little bit about your journey, but tell me a little bit from you, like, how do you go from, doing marketing to owning like a pretty substantial software company?
Yeah, sure. So my background, as you mentioned, is in graphic design. So I've been doing that for over 20 years. And I've always had a traditional graphics agency. So really niching down into producing the graphics for marketers. So I've seen both sides of, taking briefs and also giving briefs, and seeing how, there can be a huge bottleneck with graphic design departments. So we had that personally in my graphic design agency, where we had up to 20 graphic designers and backlogs of weeks. And this was obviously 20 years ago, was before social media boomed. So, once that started, everyone wanted their graphics, they wanted everything. And at that time, they really were doing everything. They didn't, pick one platform and do that well. They did everything. So they were coming to us, and they wanted a graphic for Facebook. They wanted a graphic for Twitter. They wanted a graphic for Instagram, websites, a million different banners. And it was overwhelming for us, and it was overwhelming for them. And we really just needed to find a better way to do things, because they want it fast, they want it cheap, and they want good quality. So we really wanted to nail that for them and come up with a new way to make that happen. So
I'm kind of laughing because we were like, yes, exactly, because we've only got one graphics guy in our marketing department, and he is absolutely slammed with tasks. And the one thing is like, can we have these ready because how embarrassing is it to like be on a call with the graphics queen and your graphics are like, meh. So I'm like, can we please have this done by Monday? And he was too busy. So we should have been using Easil, and then we would have had overlays.
They look great. They look fantastic. But that is exactly the problem that people have. I mean, you've got a large team, and it's one person usually in your graphics team. And, especially in 2020, a lot of people, there might be people that have cut down on those graphics teams. So, but you still need to produce them, or maybe even more than what you needed to last year or 10 years ago. So creating access to a tool that's drag and drop, but really keeping things on brand standard is where we were aiming to go. So that's the idea, and that's where it evolved from.
And I'm looking at our streams right now, and this is our surprise or our extra Vengreso live this week, because I wasn't going to make Annette stay up till 3:00 in the morning. You might have noticed she has an accent. You're still in the Gold Coast, right, in Australia?
I'm in the Gold Coast, and it's 6:05 in the morning here on Tuesday, so I'm in the future.
Oh, it's still really early.
No, it's okay. This is not early.
Well, our good friend Andy thank you, Andy, is sharing your link to your LinkedIn account. Hello, Alfred. Hello, Lance, also from Sydney. So Sydney's a little bit, is it like 8:00 in the morning, or is he up at 6 just to see you too?
He would be up at 6 as well. We're on the same time at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. You're both on the that
Yeah,
coast.
yeah, on the the East Coast.
And then Sarah's got to be like 9 o'clock at night for you in Cambridge, or 10 o'clock at night. And same with John. So we have people from all over the world right now.
That's
But
fantastic.
no one's in a good time zone except for maybe me and Bobby. Andy, I'm not posting that. So tell us a little bit. I mean, my history with LinkedIn is one of the main reasons I went with LinkedIn back in 2006 was there were no graphic. Well, first of all, it was the only social media site, but so, it was there were no graphics, like no background images, the posts, not so much with the visuals. There was no video, anything on LinkedIn. And so I'm like, yay, because I am your target audience because I am graphically impaired. Like, I can appreciate a good graphic, but I so suck at graphics. And for a long time, LinkedIn was way behind, the curve. And, we came out with stories just recently. All my friends in Australia have them. I don't. Only a couple people are getting live still, right? And so it's like, okay, we got to get with the game, whether you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, single person, or, corporate sales team that needs marketing assistant. We need to get to the game. So will you tell us a little bit, like, how do you let's start with stories. And I don't know if you can share your screen or not, but if you can, we'll do that.
Give me a second. I'll try it. And hopefully I don't have any tech difficulties here.
How can we use, because first of all, most of us don't even have stories. I had it for literally 2 days and then they took it away from me. I don't know. But how can graphics help things? And I know you're just working in there trying to pull it up, but how can graphics help things like stories and lives, etc.?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned LinkedIn having no graphics when you started out, and the reason that you started on it, because really now LinkedIn is probably the most visually rich platform out there. There are every single type of graphic that you can imagine is available on LinkedIn. You've got your profile images, you've got your pages, you can do live video, so you can do live video overlays like we've got on the screen now. Yeah. You can upload videos and add graphics to those videos. Obviously posts, documents, stories, GIFs, and everything.
It looks so much more let me see if I can, oops, that's not what I meant to do. It looks so much better, right? Because now, mind you, we still need some help with our graphics, but nothing, but you could get some really cool overlays. And of course we're doing a live right now, but this works with regular video too. It looks so much more professional, I feel like.
It does, and it's super easy. One of the overlays that you've got there, or any lower third or anything like that, it will literally take you 5 minutes to set that up, and you can use that on every show. And it really lifts your visual game. So let me try and hook up to my phone. This is experimental, so please, hopefully this will work.
Bobby says she's so frustrated with the new features that she doesn't have. I know. You, me both, girl. Hello, Lizarna from New Zealand. I love it. Oh my God, I can't wait to be able to. Okay, there we go.
Okay,
good.
So it looks like I have to share. I'll just pop this window down. So
perfect.
Okay, so LinkedIn stories.
So those of you who don't have stories yet, this is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. So at the top there, it's a similar interface to what you have on any other stories platform. So the circles, the icons at the top, and you scroll across to look at the different stories. And this shows you the amount of people that are using it in Australia and within my connections. And I've got, I haven't got thousands, but I think I've got 1,000 connections, and I've got 3 people that have posted stories in the last 24 hours. So it's not getting used very much, and the functionality, it is limited. But the interface, as you can see, I've got my own personal profile there, and then I have 2 company pages that I can I can post from that one spot. So if you have
now you're just bragging. I got personal and 2 company page. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Keep going.
they do. They all popped up at the same time, so I didn't need to set anything up. It all happened. But I've got the 2 pages. But there's a problem with this in that our friend Lance, who is online, and he's got a story posted here. He's actually told me that he has 5 or 6 different pages. So that interface at the top is full of the interface of adding stories before he can actually see stories. So it's not the best if you're running a lot of pages.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, it's quite simple to use and very limited in functionality at the moment. So I would say that's why it's not ready for you guys in the States just yet. They're testing it out on us Aussies and the rest of us that maybe are not so picky. So that's obviously awesome. There's the option to choose a photo, and I'll show you a couple of things. So exactly how limited it is. So if you choose a photo for that's a square shape, you can't make that any larger. So you're actually working within that space. And if you add any text or anything like that, I'll just add that on there. It actually won't let you move it. If you can see that, you're actually working within that space. So it's super limited, and you really need to start with either a photo, a video, or a portrait-sized image.
Okay, Andre, write that down. Photo, video, portrait-size image. We'll get it. We'll pull that up so people can see that. Photo, video, portrait-size image. Okay, keep going.
So there's no sort of create mode, like you're probably familiar with on Instagram stories. There's no start with a blank as such. You need to take the photo or get the photo from your camera roll.
Right.
So you really need to be a bit more prepared. I think, especially being on LinkedIn, I'm not sure how many people will be doing so much of the moment content. The jury's out on, how that will look. But really, I've got a couple of things that I quickly whipped up in preparation for this. So if you've got a visual like this, it's obviously very easy to bring that up. And then you've got a couple of options. So you've got...
Looks like we lost the upload.
Oh, you can't see my screen anymore?
No.
Oh, no. Well, okay.
Well, we saw it. We all saw what it looked like.
Hang on a second.
So they have like limited stickers. It's not like Instagram where you can even create your own. There we go. Go ahead and pop that back up. Perfect.
Yeah, StreamYard dropped that out. Okay, so you can pop your own stickers on, but again, it's very limited. So there's a mention sticker. I'll just show you this. So it's okay. Let's drop that. Drop that. So you can add mention stickers, which is great when they're in a story. So a viewer can pop on and tap on that sticker and get the preview of your profile. So it's a handy little feature, but otherwise it's very limited. There's 6 different colors, 1 font, and 1 different font styling. So in terms of keeping on brand, you almost can't.
So you've got to use a third-person party or a third-person app like yours in order to. Andy, I'm going to hide this just because no one can get to that link. But Andy is saying, text plus images is so important, right? Text plus images is so important. So using a third-party app like Easel will give you a lot more creative opportunity to create good story images.
Absolutely. And I think if you're talking about brand standards, that's where, we're really sort of setting up the software to be able to share that with your team, with people that are graphically challenged. Set that template. I see you. Set up those templates and make it really easy, really empower your team to create something that they feel looks good without messing around too much. You want your team, you want your sales team, you want all of your team to be sharing information, whether it is stories or a post or a document or anything like that, getting as much of that content out there that still has that brand flavor attached to it.
Thank you for saying that, because, even though I'm part of a big team, I still kind of think of like an entrepreneur or solopreneur when it comes to lives and stories, because me on my account, but I love what you just said, because if you've got a team with Easel, you can create graphics. I'm assuming, can you show the Easel? Can you show like your actual Easel screen? Because I'm assuming you can create graphics for the team that they can customize and use, so you can be graphically impaired like me and still go into the team's version of Easel, look at what's already been created by the marketing team. Oh, perfect. Been created by the marketing team, and yeah, have really, really good looking. And then there was a question earlier too about overlays. So I think we'll probably cover both, but Sarah Stones was asking about overlays too, not just on stories, but like on StreamYard and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Teams interface on at the moment. So there's a couple of sides to Easel. So we've got generic templates that anyone can use, because we encourage people to start branding and creating graphics when they are a solopreneur and out to when they're a medium to large business. So we provide the tools for all of that. But the view I'm showing you right now is when you have a team. So you can create a catalog of exclusive templates, and it blocks off any Easel templates from your team, and it blocks off access to anything else that you want to do. So when your team log in, they're seeing your brand and your brand only. So it's almost like a portal for your visual resources.
Yes, good.
So what they do in here is I'm looking at this as a user. So someone that's a non-designer. The designer in the team has a different view. So the non-designer has a very limited interface. Choose your templates. You would see all of your Vengreso templates. You would log in and you'd say, okay, well, I'm looking for, a social media template or an overlay that's branded and ready by your graphic designer. You click on that template. And depending on what the graphic designer has set for that graphic, they may have locked things down. So if you can see, it may be a little bit hard to see, but there's a little padlock above these text boxes. I'll just try and zoom in if that makes it any easier. But any of these text boxes in this graphic have actually been locked down in branding, and there's no access to different fonts. So you've got the ability to go in and change the text as much as you like, but you can't change the font. So, and that comes down to what the graphic designer in your team sets. So they may say,
like
you can use everything.
We don't want a bunch of Helvetica.
That's right. So they can totally lock that down, or they can give you a little bit of flexibility. And also if you can see up here in the top right, there's a little request approval button at the top there. Okay. So we've got a built-in workflow for approval. So if you want to give your members a bit more flexibility in creating something, you can stop them from downloading that file before you check that off. So that would be in the graphic designers or the brand manager's power to say, yes, this file requires an approval before you can download it. So for example, these ones here have got that little blue tick on there. So it's a very easy drag and drop, type to update your text, no graphics experience required sort of platform. But you've got the two sides where you can enforce that brand regulation or that approval if you want to. So you can opt in the templates to require approval, or if you trust your team with some of the graphics, you can just lock them down a little bit and say, this is what you can use. So in terms of team functionality, that's the basics of it. It's building out a graphics catalog, putting restrictions down, and optionally putting in an approval workflow.
This is so important because we teach content marketing for sales teams, content for sales enablement, basically. And it's on the marketing department to get the content, and then the seller has to decide if they're going to share it or not. And a lot of times they're like, well, we want to customize it, or they're just sharing crap out there. Yeah. And so I love this because you could create so many great images that your sales team could just then go in and go, I like that color. I want to add my name to it. Boom, done, right? And so,
and it really cuts out that bottleneck. I think that's the thing. The graphic design team, they're putting in I'm sure that it would happen in your team as well, that you put in a small task, you put in a request, and
like change the overlays of Vengreso.
That's right, and it takes so long to put together that brief for your graphic designer and do all of the admin work.
Yes.
Where really you could have done that yourself in half the time that it took you to brief your graphic designer.
Right.
And have that ready to do. So yeah, that's streamlining is really what we're all about. We know, like I said, I've got a graphic design background, and I can't think of anything worse than working with a team of 30 or 50 sales professionals that are saying to me, make an overlay, change my business card. It's not what a graphic designer wants to do. They want to be working on that bigger picture, strategic work, creative work. So it works. It's a win-win. It gives the graphic designer.
Rid of the marketing team at all. This is making life so much easier for the marketing team and enabling sales and everybody else in the company too. We just happen to focus on sales, but making everybody's life easier. Because that was even when we first talked, I'm like, okay, I get why the solopreneur, entrepreneur, SMB, small business owner would really need Easel. Like, I totally get that. Because, but, I was like, but why? You got this big, we got a big marketing department, one graphic designer, but you're talking something like Kinadyne that has, 15 graphic designers, say, like, why would they need Easel? But for that very reason, for these templates and to make it easy to customize and yet hold that branding, that is awesome.
That's right. It's for the small things. It's the small things that really are a headache for either end, for the sales team or for the graphic designer. And there's tons of them, and a lot of team members are reluctant to brief their graphic designers for those small things. So they might say it's just easier not to do that. The graphic design team may already be overwhelmed, and they think, I won't even bother putting in that request for that StreamYard overlay because it won't happen. So here's
a question we knew was coming. What are the prices like?
The prices, So we have a couple of different plans on Easel. So you've got a 30-day free trial of our Plus plan, which is generally what most people use. It's $7.50 per month to month. So it's very affordable.
That's not going to break the bank.
It's not
30 days.
If you decide to upgrade after 30 days, you've got access to the Plus plan. So that gives you access to over 10,000 templates, making the StreamYard overlays, working with the restrictions and the approval workflow. So we're all about making that enterprise level software accessible when you're a small team. Yeah.
Yes.
So
because sometimes big companies still have a small team.
That's right. And that's what graphics are about. That's what graphics are about. Graphics can give the perception of being much larger than what you are.
Yes.
Creating that professional.
So I learned about Easel through Kim and Rhonda. Okay. So yay, Rhonda. Hello. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that because I just, it's funny, as an entrepreneur, solopreneur for 10 or 15 years, graphics were the bane of my existence. Like, no lie. I can't put together a good graphic. It was expensive. I was using some of the other tools out there, but, and it was super frustrating. And then I actually saw, and I bet they created it on Easel. I saw Kim's overlays for her StreamYard when I was a guest on Kim Garst's show. And I was like, oh my God, that's so freaking cool. And she's like, it's Easel. And then I heard about you from Alliance. And then I'm going down a rabbit hole. I can't remember what my original point was. Oh yeah. The graphics, the alignment of graphics is so important, especially for companies that are starting to grow. The lean team, exactly. The lean team. It's so important.
It's really important. And I've learned that. I learned that when I was a small business in my graphic design agency, that really, that perception is reality. If you can make yourself look professional, there's no reason why anyone needs to know that you are a solopreneur.
Yeah.
Or, you're a team of 3 and they think you're a much larger global team. So yeah, graphics definitely have the power to do that for you.
Yeah. Now Ted says he's having more views using straight text with no images, and that might be true. Ted, you're a super smart guy, and I think your audience is used to reading. Some audiences are, the fish, the 3-second fish, or whatever attention. But I think when you're talking about doing lives, doing stories, doing video at all, if you're going to do that, you need to make it look professional with graphics. And I still think graphics are important for a post, but it all depends on your audience too, I think. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I agree. I think a standard post, the jury's out on that, whether an image actually decreases the reach, and I would probably tend to agree with that on a standard post. But then there are other formats like your documents, or like you say, your videos, or there's other visuals like your profile images and your banners and things like that. There's so many areas on LinkedIn where it really is important to have that professional graphic applied. The post, I'm not quite sure. I test both, and I would tend to agree that some posts do a lot better without a visual or a graphic attached. But that may be different, like you say, for different audiences.
Yeah. I mean, his audience is really smart, so they're readers, because his book is really good too. Okay, so, and I don't know if I'm really putting you on the spot here, but can you show us, for an entrepreneur or small, and I didn't cue this with her ahead of time, folks. So, like, you may or may not be able to do this, but can you show, like, someone who's graphically impaired like me, how would I create a StreamYard overlay? Because a lot of people who are getting live are using StreamYard, or you can use the other ones too, Restream, whatever. But how do we create an overlay? How do we create an overlay? I guess that's
sure. Sure. So I've got the overlays open because there was a comment earlier about showing the overlay. So I brought that up. So we have actually created a bunch of sets of templates for, well, they're not specifically StreamYard. They're all the same aspect ratio. So any software that you're using, StreamYard, Ecamm, BeLive, any of that, you can come in here and you can open up a branded set of templates. So I'll open the first one. Okay. All right. So as that loads in Easel, I'll show you the different things that come into that template. So you've got a promotion screen. You've got a live show countdown timer. So depending on the software that you're using, you can pop that timer overlay on there. You've got a simple lower third.
Yeah.
You can pop your show title in there. If you've got different segments in your show, you can create a transition screen that you can pop in while you're, bringing in a guest or messing around with your screen, maybe like I have been in this show. Something to cover the mess. There's a different overlay for a guest if you're doing the different views from one guest to another. A duo overlay with the brand, and a closing screen where you can put all of your social handles. So
that's so cool. We don't have all this.
That's a base template in Easel, and everything is customizable. So once you load all your brand colors in there, you can obviously come in here and you can change any of those colors to match the template.
Andrea, we got to get an Easel account.
So it's as simple as going in, clicking, changing your colors, coming in and, typing in your graphics.
So it works with Ecamm. It works with StreamYard. Hey, Subi Zimmerman. It works with Ecamm, StreamYard, Restream.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how it works is, for example, these two screens first up are solid screens. So they cover your whole screen. Yep. But these ones with the checkerboard pattern in the background are the transparent area. So in the video, like your overlays here, you would just see that lower third with the branding, and then the transparent area is the video showing through. Excuse me.
That is so cool. Now, do you know Subi Zimmerman, the Instagram expert?
I have briefly met Sue, but she was very, very busy at social media marketing world a couple of years ago. So, there was chaos, but I did say hello very quickly.
All right, you
but I know of Sue. I know of Sue.
You two need to connect, and because I think Easel would be such a good tool for her folks too, because they do so many lives, and of course you can do more with lives. So they do so many lives and stories and everything. And I love, there was a question up here earlier, and I'm gonna go with yes, I think so. Oh crap, Alfred, there you go. Do you think stories will fit into the LinkedIn ABC Start Shirt way of going? Yeah, unfortunately, it seems to be that way, but they're still working on it, right? I mean, Insta stories weren't that great when they started either.
These are they're very limited, so they're very Start Shirt. But I can imagine before they roll out to you guys over there in the States that they will have a lot more functionality.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, this has been like the fastest half hour ever. You give someone like me who's graphically impaired hope. So if you're listening to this show and you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, small business owner, Easel is for you. If you are a sales leader with 500 people on your sales team, Easel is also for you. And it's obviously super affordable for all of us. So I'm going to get on there. Get my 30-day free trial, and I'm going to start playing with some overlays, and I'm going to have a competition with our graphics person, and we'll see who has the best overlays.
Good idea. I'll be the judge.
Yes, I'll be the judge. Are there any last words of advice for our team? Or for not just our team, but everyone who's listening?
I think everyone should know this, but obviously brand consistency. Whenever you can pop in some of your brand elements, whether that be your brand logo or your colors or a combination of that with your fonts, you should absolutely layer that onto your graphics. The more that you can repeat those graphics and reinforce your brand, the better. So using a ton of different tools or disjointed graphics, it causes damage to your brand. So always be building on that with consistency.
That's awesome. That is good final words. With that, you can start now. Right now, it's only desktop, right? It's not on, it's not on the phone.
Not on the phone yet. It's mainly desktop. There's a lot of functionality. So it is, a lot of our users are team users. So they're sitting at their desks working, but mobile's on the roadmap.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm my thumbs don't work that small, so I'm a fan of the desktop. So that's good to know. But mobile is on the horizon, so that's good to know too. Thank you so much for being our guest today, especially so early in the morning. You're going to have a mimosa and start your day.
Sounds good.
You look gorgeous for 6 a.m., I got to say.
Thank you for having me. It's been great to meet you all.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.
Bye.